Good afternoon, all. Let's wait for a few more minutes for last minute joining. Hello, everyone. We are welcoming all for Migrate to SAP Spartacus, the future of e-commerce webinar. Today agenda would be we will talk about Royal Sabre overview and SAP Commerce Practice overview and Spartacus business values, Spartacus upgrade and migration approach, and Royal Sabre special offer for today and question and answer session. The speakers, I'm Abdul Wahab, leading SAP CX practice in Royal Sabre. With me, Varadarajan Seduraman. He's a senior technical architect and Spartacus expert in Royal Sabre. Royal Sabre, which was founded in 2002, and now we have around 1,200 plus resources working across the globe. And with across the globe, we have 130 plus customers we are supporting, and we are having partnership with number of technology partnership with SAP and Oracle, Adobe, Salesforce, Commerce Tools, VTEX, and different technologies. And we have presence across the globe: USA, India, Canada, Pakistan, and KSA and New Zealand region, Australia, New Zealand region as well. So here we have shown some of the areas which we are supporting currently: digital commerce and digital transformations, which include commerce RPA, artificial intelligence, machine learning, middleware, DevOps. So all these areas, blockchain and data analytics, Power BI, and all those things, we were giving support actually to our customers. In this slide, I have just shown a few of the logos which we are working, and we have number of other logos as well. So here mostly I mentioned SAP Commerce customers. Most of the logos which you are seeing mostly, which is all SAP Commerce customer, and they have Spartacus as well. Some customers done migration, some customer start with the Spartacus as well. Yes, here I have, as I mentioned before, so SAP Commerce, we have 180 plus resources working across the globe, and we are a gold partner, SAP gold partner. We have a build partnership with SAP as well. We can build the solutions. We have built number of solutions which we have launched in SAP Marketplace as well. We have done number of implementations, number of upgrade migration projects, and also we are providing managed service support consulting as well, and we have done number of performance and quality enhancement with our customers as well. So these are all few customers details which you are which we are currently associate with. You can see here there are customers from North America, Australia, New Zealand regions, and also Middle East and EMEA regions as well. Yes, as I mentioned, around 150, 160 plus resources are working from our main development center, which is in India and Asia Pacific, and also we have our head office, which is in Chicago. There are 30 plus resources are working, and we have number of certified consultant. I mean that those certifications includes commerce and also sales, service, and marketing cloud as well. So these are all few awards which we got recently. So based on because of our great support with our customers, we got these awards. So now I'll hand over to Varda. Varda, you can start from here.
Thanks, Abdul. Hello, all. So now we are going to see the business values of Spartacus. Spartacus benefit for your business and for the users in many ways. Spartacus is a single page applications, provide better user experience, better performance. The single page applications, no refresh from page to page, better cache management, progressive web applications. So Spartacus built in with the progressive web application. You can add progressive web application supports to Spartacus applications. It supports the latest merger versions of Angular Spa features. So you know the benefits of PWA. The key benefits are making your application look like native mobile apps. PWA benefits for the business and users. No need to install that apps from a store. Higher user engagements and conversion rate. Adaptive design and responsive design. Adaptive designs give better user experience by doing more customization that differ from responsive design. So both of these aspects, Spartacus allow for an adaptive configuration for each breakpoints. Just few steps of configuration make your applications more responsive and adaptive. Spartacus have a built-in support for server-side rendering available as a separate schema. This schema will take care of all the configuration and make your applications SSR enabled. Spartacus also have a dedicated model for Google Analytics and tag management. Tag managers. Spartacus from architect's perspective, it's a headless, decoupled architecture, 100% API driven. Decoupled make more focus on a development front end and back end independently. And that's each application. This application can be deployed independently, and so we can make a release plan very effectively. Spartacus application can be deployed anywhere in a cloud or on premises. Spartacus releases a batch versions, major versions. Every release make an applications more stable. So Spartacus can be scaled separately. Moving to Spartacus is moving your applications to the latest on-demand and modern web technology. Full-fledged storefront implementations and the Spartacus is developed in the advanced frameworks called Angular frameworks. And it's an open source maintained by Spartacus and community peoples. Currently, this library is released as an NPM packages. SAP going to announce Spartacus as a fully SAP product, but I feel still it's going to be free to use. Only difference may be the release move from NPM packages to SAP private code repository. Spartacus can be fully customized and extendable based on your needs. So more about customizations and seamless upgrade. So we will see in the upcoming slides. So now we are going to see the Spartacus overview benefits and the release plans of Spartacus, especially the roadmaps of Spartacus and the advanced and the upcoming versions. Spartacus is an open source Angular-based JavaScript storefront. So it's mainly prepared. It's mainly developed to replace a legacy Commerce Cloud accelerator, and it's a decoupled and upgradable architecture. And Spartacus is allow smart edit features to ensure the business users can modify the pages template, and it give more provisions or options for the developer to customize the storefront to meet the requirement. Spartacus is a modern web stacks including Angular, TypeScript, RxJS, observable patterns, NGRX state management, and unit test cases like Jasmine and Comma. Future versions of Spartacus currently supporting accessibility complaint that adheres to WCA 1.2. Spartacus is a ready-made solutions for the modern storefronts. It means in a few steps, we can up and run the Spartacus applications. Just adding the schema, and rest the schema will change your code and change the necessary configurations to your Spartacus. So if it's a ready-made solution, then what we are going to do in a development? So that may the question arise here. Spartacus development, it's mean of customization and extend this out-of-box features and changing the themes of the requirement. So if you have a more customizations, that will have a more development effort. Let's see more on a Spartacus library. Spartacus library as a services. Spartacus compromise of many libraries. So core library, store library, front-end store libraries, feature library, and style library. Style library help us to create a custom themes for our branding. Spartacus, it's in a schematics, allow you to install the Spartacus library in projects by simple SLA commands. Different schematics are available, so that can be installed based on the project need as an optional things. So you can add it if you want an applications to be PW enabled, you can just install the schematics. And if you want an applications to be SSR, so you can install this particular schematics. Spartacus comes with the integrated code library and features library. Code library is a base library and feature library is a on-demand library. Feature library are added as a lazy loading features for better performance. So below the list of feature libraries available in a Spartacus, as the current versions. So it gives us support for ASM. If you need an ASM support for your things, you just install this schematics, and that will be adding the configurations required for the particular features. Card functionalities. Core functionality have a card features, code functionality, but so if you want an additional card functionality, save card, quick card, no, you can install the feature models. And the feature models of SDA, SDS, order organization, B2B organization feature. If you want your application to be BTR, so you can install the particular storefronts. And Spartacus have a tracking as a library, tracking schema. So if you want your applications to be track management systems and personalizations, Google Analytics or Indian Analytics to that. No? So it will be providing a configurations. With that configurations, you can enable our Google Analytics or any other analytics. So even though Spartacus is a ready-made solutions for our storefront, Spartacus provide SAP Spartacus provide more customized way of way to customize the storefront based on your needs. Spartacus out-of-box components can be extendable and for an additional functionalities. So this is the basic Spartacus architecture. So as I told them, it have a core library, UI component library, styling library. So over the library, so either we can use an out-of-box UI component, or we can create a new component, customs components. So with that component, you can making that out of service OCC service, or you can connect it to other API to get this data. So what I'm trying to say, Spartacus is not limited to the OCC API. So it allows third-party API to call data and integrated inside the Spartacus. Okay, it's an important to understand so how the Spartacus is working if we need to do some architecture level changes, right? So this is a low level architecture diagrams of Spartacus, how the Spartacus working, and these are the layers of Spartacus. So for a normal development perspective, so we need to understand everything. Everything is going to be a configurations, right? So when you want to more customizations, when you want to expand things, it's a mandatory to understand how the Spartacus is working and what is the role of each and every layers. So no, you know this UI layers, Spartacus, it's have a built-in of 140 plus UI components. So this UI component is only concerns with the presentation logics of the UI, and the UI component absorb the data from the facade layer. And the facade layer, it's a hidden complexities of uh, the in-memory data storages. This layer is designed to simplify your development and let focus on the customs logic speed. These layers provide custom services or markup services. With the services, either we can connect it to in-memory stored data, or or the in-memory stored data, or we can make an API calls to the OCC layer. In-memory storage features. Spartacus using NGRX stores for state management. NGRX is considerably complex, and it's considered that you can use a facade layer. So it means, so instead of you dispatching any events or you do things, So if you need any data from a from a state management, so you can connect it with the facade layer. Facade layer have an options to connect it with the it provide a markup services to connect it with this in-memory storages. And other will be the connectors. So the backend connectors is called NGRX side effects. Its responsibilities is to make the backend API call, OCC call, and that require for the UI models. This connected dedicated to the adapters, which integrated with the backend systems. Connector. The main task of connector is to dedicate and loading and the conversions of backend data to these adapters. So the adapter purpose of adapters. The adapter layer is responsible for loading and submitting to this to the data sources. So converters is mostly on the normalization, serialization data coming from backend things. And so Spartacus. Yeah, a Spartacus development, it means to replace that accelerator storefronts of things. Right? So so you can create your custom connectors to connect it with the other e-commerce things. Spartacus is mainly designed for Hybris OCC layer, but they provide an options to connect it with the other e-commerce sites also. Roadmap. Spartacus have a well-explained roadmap and having a matured release plan. Starting with the Spartacus 5, it's a future release in our current versions. SAP Cloud and Composable Storefront is an official name for the Spartacus project. So the Spartacus names will be changes to Composable Storefronts in the future, and the library will be published by Spartacus. Published by SAP. SAP will be completely take over of the Spartacus project, and they release as a composite storefront. They give a new name for this storefront. Composable storefront is based on the Spartacus open source code. It's including it will be included in a SAP Cloud license at no extra costs. Upcoming release will be a 5.0 that's released for this month, the quarter of this year, or for first quarter of this. So every release Spartacus, it's release, give the what are the things what are the features added, and from a user perspective, from a user experience perspective, from future perspective, from fixed perspective, and some performance perspective. And they will be released what are the changes they made from architectural perspectives. So these are the features is going to be added in a 5.0. 5.0 is morely they focus on accessibility, I told in the previous slides, and supports for PDB video components supports, right, and more supports in that. And so they so Spartacus 5, so they made some changes on lazy loading for better performance, and so better code splitting. Code split nothing but the future models. Comparisons. Right. And next sections, we are going to see how we are going to upgrade and migration the Spartacus from Accelerator storefronts. To migrate it from Accelerator storefront to Spartacus, so it's a mandatory. You should understand the key difference between these two fronts. So Accelerator, it's a legacy storefronts of SAP Commerce Cloud, and Spartacus, it's mainly developed to mean to replace the Accelerator storefronts. So the main difference will be Spartacus is going to be an Angular base. That's going to be a template base. So decoupled architecture, that's a coupled architecture. And so Spartacus, it's about PW features and it's an API driven. Accelerator is an extension driven. Any changes in this extension, so that will be going to be a huge impact. So we need to have a end-to-end testing from all these things. So in this slides, we are going to discuss more about the upgradation, how you upgrade from one version of Spartacus to other versions of Spartacus, and the migration approaches. What are the best approaches to migrating from storefront Accelerator storefronts to Spartacus storefronts? So this is the guidelines for a Spartacus library upgradations, right? Say Spartacus, they follow the proven version scheming, like major versions, minor version, batch versions. So major versions, it's going to be a big versions. So minor versions, they will be taken care of some issues, or batch will be some performance related things, right? Say you need to verify it. So when we migrated from one version, suppose you are working in a 4.0 versions or 2.0, you need to migrate it to the additional advantages. No? So you need to know what are the features are changing, what will be the impact when you move to one versions to other versions. Before you migrating to one version to other versions, so you need to verify the future compatibilities with Commerce Cloud versions. So it means Spartacus versions. So whenever the Spartacus changes, so there will be changes. Spartacus is compatible. Is compatibility with the particular versions of SAP Commerce Cloud, starting from 1.9.0 or higher version. Though, so the SAP is recommended for 2005 versions are the newer versions. See, the Spartacus migration upgradation, it's not a mandatory things. It's based on your needs, right? So if you need if you need some additional functionalities that's in other versions, no, then you need to migrate. Otherwise, so that with the current versions, you can continue with these projects. And whenever we need a new features, that time we think about these migrations. And the migration, one more things we need to observe when you to migrate things. The migration depends on the last versions. So when we want to migrate it from 2.1 to 4.0, first we need to migrate it from 2.0 to 3, then we migrate it to this one. Spartacus provide a clear documents on each and every steps how we need to migrate it one versions to other versions. Okay, so when you have a plans to migrating from Accelerator to Spartacus, so you need to understand the procedure. What are the procedures and what are the things you are considered, and what will be the best approaches for the migrations, whether we go with it completely full migrations or partial migrations. What is the SAP recommendation on that? We should know that. We should have a detailed plan on this about the migration approaches and any business impacts or efforts, durations needs to be considered. So before you migrate, you should understand the migration procedures, right? So this migration, Spartacus, this migration is more on a technical shift from a legacy to modern web applications. So no tools are available for this migration. Consider this migration is a completely new development. No portions of accelerator storefront can be reusable. Spartacus storefronts depends on the versions of e-commerce things. So the migration may require an upgradations of commerce versions also. So as I told, the Spartacus and API driven. So there may be some code changes from a hybrid side. So they need to create a new OCC layer. So that API OCC layer and expose this as a OCC REST API. Spartacus will be connecting to this API for page information and data informations. And one more important thing is SAP will announce about the deprecations and removal of the old accelerator things. SAP goal is to move all the customers to Spartacus or at the latest JavaScript storefronts. So it means uh, for future versions they may be support they may be give us support for an accelerators. So an application and the accelerators that can be run. Any supports need to be there, you know. So there will be no support or no additions or future additions from an accelerator things. And best approaches will be and even SAP is also recommended piece by piece migrations or model by model migrations or MEP migrations for the best migrations for a best approaches. So both accelerators and one advantages of this migration, both accelerators and Spartacus can be run on a single domain. So that leads to no change, no challenges of partially migrations. Right? Spartacus have an internal configurations, and so with the NG-INX configuration and other things, right? So we can navigate it with these storefronts, one storefront to other 4 storefronts. So the user could not see the difference without affecting this user experience. And so this migrations involve a seamless sync up with the sessions between this. And as I told, the effort of these migrations, the effort of the Spartacus development, it depends on the level of customizations. Right. So so this slides we are going to expect. So after we migrating the Spartacus, separated the Spartacus and hybrid, no, Spartacus and SAP code. So Spartacus required headless SAP Commerce Cloud. So I mean, so once we remove the UI layers from SAP code to the Spartacus, Spartacus began a headless CMS. And it made responsibilities. It will be providing a datas to the storefront, and storefront is a headless things. So so that can be easily connected with the API, OCC API to get the data. And so whatever additional features, additional Google integration that can be done. So now the responsive will be separated and extendable and scalable will be maintained independently with the tool. So no dependency from these teams. So from here, I'm hand over to Abdul. Abdul, please take on from this thing.
Thanks so much, Varda. It was a great explanation about Spartacus and then migration process. Here, I would like to show, some of our legacy accelerator customers migrated into Spartacus as well. What do we suggest basically, right? So we always suggest our existing accelerator customers to take a step-by-step approach instead of migrating into the big bang migrations, right? So altogether they want to migrate to Spartacus, which is a bigger effort, and also it would take a lot of time as well, right? So which is because Spartacus is entirely is a new component creations, all those things would be involved. When you take your existing accelerator code, it would have been have a lot of customizations. If it is not out of the box more, if lot of customization, the big bang migrations would be it's a big time consuming projects. Instead, what do we suggest basically step by step approach? What is step by step approach, right? Basically, see, your legacy accelerator, legacy storefront still would be there. Whatever models you are creating, you can start with that Spartacus new models, or in the existing models as well. when you start migrations, you can start module by modules or page by page. Examples, you can start with the home page, and then once home page done in the decoupled storefront, so you can start next page, product listing page. Such a way like that, you can take it step by step approach. How that would work? Yes, we have to make it, our customization into OCC layer. First, we need to create a RESTful services for that. Once RESTful services is ready, uh, we can use that reverse proxy, basically Nginx, Apache, NJNX. We can use that. Using the reverse proxy, when customers accessing, for example, customer accessing the homepage in this slide, you can see rc.shop.com. If rc.shop.com, which is decoupled storefronts, then that reverse proxy will decide which solutions it has to handles, right? So whether it has to go to decoupled storefront or whether it has to go to legacy accelerator, it would decide. Accordingly, it will redirect that request, and then pages will load based on that, decoupled storefront or legacy accelerators. One thing we should consider when we do that, uh, uh, the look and feel, basically header and footer, right? So header and footer should be consistent across both the storefronts, otherwise customer would feel the difference. So for that, we need to make it header and footer, it's a consistent between both the storefront, decoupled storefront, and also legacy accelerators. That we can achieve easily through creating the dummy CMS pages and through OCC add-on. So CMS OCC add-on, we can make it consistent both the storefront as well. So this is the approach generally we suggest to our existing accelerator customers. So this is the way we can easily migrate our existing accelerator storefront without much hesitations, right? The model by model or stepwise, page by page, we can do migrations. And again, I would like to show the end of life for the hybrid SAP Commerce versions, right? Basically, I mean, a lot of customers maybe move to the CCV2 cloud as well, so they have latest versions. But I would like to show this, the slides. As you know, Spartacus complete supports available after 1905 complete support. So better, if you are planning for migration Spartacus, if you have a older version of 1905, upgrade to latest versions, that would be benefits, because all the lot of OCC services which is available in the latest version of SAP Commerce. Again, one more important points I would like to mention here. Yes, SAP Commerce released latest version 2211 recently, last month, right? So but these latest versions, one important points, these latest versions which is only available for cloud customers, right? So cloud customers only can download this 2211, they can use it. So what does it mean, right? So for example, on-prem customers, so still some of the customers was in on-prem, they didn't even migrate it to CCV2 or cloud commerce versions 2. They cannot use 2211. They can use till 2205, and from 2211, the new features or anything which is included part of 2211 or after that which is going to be included, which will not be available for on-prem customers. That's the important point, right? So with the new features, you are not going to get if you are on-prem customers, but still 20 until 2205 they would provide maintenance support. The patch versions would be coming, or if it is any big changes, big software changes, they would provide actually. Otherwise, you will not get any new features in on-prem customers. Only the cloud customer will get new features from 2211, and 2211 onwards, it's going to be monthly, release, right? So there will not be big upgrade. You don't need to spend much time for big upgradations also. So there is another important points I would like to mention. Uh, Here, yes, Royal Saber would like to give that special offer today. We would give a complimentary Spartacus consultation session, which is a 1 week complimentary session. We would give it to our customers who join today's webinar, and in that consultation session, you can get that, you can clarify all the details with our experts about the Spartacus migrations, and then how we can proceed further for the Spartacus migrations that we have in the plan. Now, yes, question and answer. So you can give your questions. Let's start from let's answer whatever question coming in the this webinar. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.